Faces and Places. Faces and Places podcast.
Hello everyone, it's Faces and Places podcast, and today we have an amazing guest, my great friend, Blu Mantic. So Blu, I'm always starting the interview with a simple question. Who are you? Who is Blu Mantic?
I don't know. I don't know.
Such a fast answer. So let's...
Blue is the representation of what everyone else gives me, and I reflect it back. The Mantic is an old soul that is here for a specific purpose.
Okay.
Right? So it's a combination of both. You can say masculine and feminine. You can say yin and yang. It's the combination of both. If I was to describe it based on my profile, my bio, it says the Blu Mantic is an combination of multiple artists and the entity of one soul.
Okay. Why blue? Is it connected to throat chakra?
It is connected to throat chakra.
I knew that. I don't know, like, I was like, Blu Mantic, blue, like, some spiritual things. Most probably it's connected. So, like, I
But
was
what's the
waiting
oldest
for this
color?
question.
What is the oldest color?
The oldest?
Yeah. The first dye that was created was blue.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that. Okay. So, how did you came up, like, with, when basically Blu Mantic was born?
Around the time when the earth started to shift in 2012, because it was also the time that I was at an age I began to really understand more about myself and the world. And living in New York City, you're around so many different things, so many different people, and so many different stimulations that when you start to receive this information, and that's when I started to grow my antennas. You start to receive information, you start to channel information like a TV, and you start to learn, okay, what do I receive? What do I dissect and understand? And what do I alter based on the information that was given to me when I was younger? So of course you have to learn things when you're a child to teenager, but then you have to unlearn, which means you have to kind of go into a Eastern philosophy. They have a moment in a movie with Kung Fu, and he has a cup of water, and he fills up the cup of water. Tells him, how can you learn Kung Fu if your cup is full? Empty your cup. And then Bruce Lee says, be like water, my friend. Right?
Yeah.
You can mold yourself and adapt to any situation. Water is also emotion, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like water at all. So, coincidentally and ironically, blue is the reflection of the sky and the water. Which one is blue?
Okay, so what's your background? Like, where was you born?
I was born in Texas.
In Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That's like...
Southern
Which
state.
roots do you have?
The biggest state in the United States of America. My roots? You mean ethnically? Like my family's background?
Yeah.
What I know of is Cherokee, Comanche, and Blackfoot Indian, Native American. So I know that we have genetics that are connected to the indigenous people of the Americas. But if we were to look into my Afro or European history, I have no idea where I'm connected. But after a while, living in Europe, I started to see where it's kind of connected and how it's connected.
But how do you feel yourself as American? Like, do you really feel like
Yes.
those roots, or I don't know, you feel like a person of the world?
A little bit of both, because American culture has molded my personality and who I am. But the original history of the Americas, I connect to more than I connect to Africa. And then if you go more ancient Africa, which is Kemet, ancient Egypt, Kush, the land of Kush, the Zulu tribes, you start to read and understand their history. I connect with that more than I connect with the current state of Africa or Africa in general. But I also connect with early 1900s of Europe. So there's this little circle between the countries and continents that I connect with, which makes me feel like obviously I was a pirate or something.
You are.
I don't know.
So, but what are you doing in Poland, in Warsaw?
I don't know.
How like, when did you arrive here?
7 years ago.
So, what brought you here?
I was invited by someone I trusted. Yeah, beautiful lady that I met in New York City. And for me to find the trust to move out of my own country, that was the first step, was to trust someone. And she invited me here, and after, I started to grow and develop and meet other people. And as I began to grow and develop in Poland, the cool thing is, now, I'm a different man, I'm a different person, I'm a different human. I've made so many other connections internationally in this city that I was able to be a part of the development of Warsaw. So I traveled a few countries, but for me, Poland is a part of my life, allowing me to say it's like a third home. Yeah.
But do you think that home can be changed in some time?
There's no such thing as, we live in a digital age now, right?
Yeah.
And we live in an age where if you understand the true value of human nature, then the earth is your home. So everywhere you go, you meet good people, you have good situations, you can find home anywhere, because there's a saying in English where home is the heart. Home is where the heart is. So if I feel connected to the place and I feel the connection to the people, you know, I feel connected to this place.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, if I feel connected to that place, that's where I feel connected.
Yeah, I think also home is where we are, like basically where we're bringing ourselves. Like if you feel good
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with yourself at the place,
yeah,
then you are all right.
yeah.
And when you came to Poland, like, what was your purpose to? I don't know.
I had no purpose.
Like, who was you when you came here? Was you like a musician or?
I was a musician.
What did you do there?
I was a musician, but I was also an explorer. I was also a student. I was also an entrepreneur. I was many things as a young man that allowed me to understand the world and my value in it. Of course, everything that I was learning was through experience and through other people and paying attention to things. I made mistakes, but those mistakes were lessons. And the second thing is, I was an explorer because I was willing to go places that have never been. I was willing to do things that have never been done. I was willing to try things and take risk, you know, without thinking of the consequences. And what made it easier is meeting the right people at the right time, as now.
I still I still remember the vibe
Yes.
you were like spreading, you know, that's what catched me. Like, you know, I was 18 years old, I was in the club and I was seeing the guy just enjoying himself, dancing, and it was just like, it was unbelievable for me. And basically at that place I realized what's basically energy is.
Exactly.
And I was like surprised, and I was just ran to you, and I was like, "Can you get a cigarette? Where are you from?" And it's the first question you've asked me. Why everyone is asking me where I'm from? Like such a stupid question, you know?
And I challenge you to give me a better question.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then I found you, and like, yeah, basically now we are here. And yeah, there is just a bit of that man, like, who was just sharing the good vibes, but like, of course, like, you grew up as a person, as a musician, I don't know, whatever, like, you're just different, and like, we're developing, and maybe like, if we're not like, you know, developing together, maybe we wouldn't like sit here, you know,
exactly.
Because we're coming through our chapters, and it's such an amazing thing, you know. When you came here, basically I think that the music was mostly the thing which
Yes, music.
let you also
Develop and expand.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was music.
So how did it start? Like, how did you meet like music in your life? When did it start?
I didn't meet music. There's a theory that everyone's born with a gift, right? in some way. And you have to find a way to share that gift. Well, since I was a young kid, I don't think I was ever a kid, but since I was young, I always knew my gift. So that's one blessing I have. I meet so many people who don't know their gift, don't know who they are, and don't know this. I was like, I've known that for a long time. But the second part of the gift is, what is your purpose with the gift? What are you supposed to do with that? And how do you feel about the consequences, the sacrifices, and the rewards that come with this kind of lifestyle and this life? Well, for me, when you travel and you meet so many different people outside of your comfort zone, your nationality, your religion, your language, it allows me to connect more than connecting with people that I already know and understand. Because I'm able to communicate with a larger group of people by listening rather than talking to a group of people who already know what I'm going to say. If you understand what I mean by this, it's much more courageous to go outside of the box where you know things, and it's actually more difficult, but the reward is it's so satisfying. When I hear other languages spoken around me, I enjoy that. I don't need to understand what's going on.
It's coming from here.
Yeah. And then what's the most universal language? Music.
Yeah.
So I don't have the stress.
Which kind of music are you doing?
Right now? Contemporary sacred hip hop. You ever heard of that?
I thought that you were going to say just hip hop.
Nope.
So,
Contemporary
yeah.
sacred hip hop.
Okay.
It's an art form. Hip hop is only the culture, but sacred is because I grew up in gospel. So my music is always spiritual.
Yeah.
Even if you don't think it is, it's always spiritual.
Well, I think that it is.
Good. And contemporary means it's just a contemporary form of art. I go along with what's happening in my surroundings. Nina Simone said it best: an artist is supposed to represent the times. I don't let the times control me, but I influence it in a way that I can.
Are you, do you consider yourself as a Polish artist or as international artist?
I'm an international artist.
How is it doing the music in Poland? How do you feel?
I feel like there's a lack of community, but what I enjoy is the fact that I can connect with a group of people that Polish people are ignoring, and that's internationals.
So that's mostly your audience.
How many English rappers do you know live in Poland that have good music? Good music. Don't worry about your friends. Be honest.
I don't know.
Exactly. How many foreign artists, even if they don't speak English, how many foreign artists are successful in this country until they speak, if they don't speak Polish?
Yeah, basically not
no one.
much.
So that's my point.
But it's also kind of hardest way, right?
No.
Or it's like an empty niche.
It's an empty niche.
Kill.
I know it's an empty niche. I'd love to hear a band who sings in Ukrainian, Belarusian, Spanish. There's a possibility to be successful here. Why? Because there's no one else doing what you're doing. But they don't know how to adapt to the surroundings and the culture itself. I mean, yeah, I was very lucky to be here at the right time, meeting the right people with the right situations. But that luck, I know I'm good enough and aware of my talent and skill that I am able to give value to people, venues, businesses, brands, and concepts. I have a different mindset when it comes to music as an art form. I see it as a culture. And every country, no matter what language you speak, people and society live by culture. Not traditions.
Yeah.
I don't have traditions. I'm lucky. I'm not stuck in it has to be done this day because of this time and this thing because of this. Is how we do it every year. I don't have that.
Yeah.
But culture
yeah.
is expansive. It's everywhere. Someone relates to it in a certain way. And it drives our society.
Do you think that's so you're mostly doing it in Poland for internationals? but I don't think that there are a lot of Polish people. Or how do you feel, like, what do you think about it?
Polish people where?
Like, following your music and understanding.
Oh, it's a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, because you said the word international. It doesn't deal with a country.
Yeah. But still, I think, like, in other country, you can kind of gain that international level more than in Poland.
But it's not the same. It's not the same journey.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is I feel more connected with what we're creating here in Warsaw. When you take away Polish language, or even Slavic, because this is still Eastern Europe. They say it's Central, but sorry guys, sorry to just be honest with you. It's not Central yet, because when you're Central, you have your own culture. You don't, not right now, not in Poland. It's still Slavic. And the reason I mean this is, if I went to UK and they speak English and I speak English, do I stand out? Do I help that society develop and grow? Do I share a culture that they haven't already experienced or grown or known? No. If I go to Estonia tomorrow and I stay for 6 months, I can make an impact.
Yeah.
But instead of me thinking about myself, I make an impact to the culture and the society and the group of people there, which all leads down to community. And the community of international people, because you're from Belarus and I'm from America, that's what connects us. We're not Polish.
Yeah.
You see what I mean now?
Yes.
International is what connects us. And there's groups and communities of international people in every country all over the world. And that's what connects us more than language and business and lifestyle and traditions. All the other things connect us in the old way. We have cell phones now.
Yeah.
Technology is connecting us in an international way. You listen to music in English?
Yeah, sure.
How many other people you think listen to music in English?
A lot.
A lot. You know how many people listen to music in English or Spanish that don't speak the language? A lot.
Yeah, a lot. Okay, let's start from the question, like, do you think that's... Basically, I mean, you've answered for the questions, like, I've prepared, but, like, do you think that the Poland is the place to create? Basically, I think you will
No.
answer... No?
No,
That's why you're here?
it's the place to develop.
Okay. So you have to come here with something already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Develop.
What did you bring here? Music.
Music, culture, ideas, creativity, these things. I don't really know how to put it into one box or description, but I'll give you an example or an analogy. Everyone relates to a certain spirit animal, right? What is yours?
I don't know.
You don't know yet. We're gonna figure that out.
Yes.
Cool.
If you want to know what's my spiritual animal, follow me.
Please. We're gonna figure that out.
What's
Trust me.
your spiritual animal?
I have 3.
How did you how did you find it?
Well, meditation, psychedelic experiences, and also, like I said, studying the world and understanding it, how it relates to you. This is reflection. And also listening to other people and finding, oh, that makes sense. And then you study the animal and you're like, okay, it makes sense. Spider, raven, and a cat. So when you said, should you come to Poland, or is Poland the best place to create? If I was to really describe Poland, I made a joke today on TikTok about how gray it is and how dark and depressive it can be. Is there any plant life that you know, or any animals that live in that kind of environment without sun?
I mean,
Darkness, grayness,
I mean, there.
no life.
Yeah, that's really like.
Okay, I'll give you an example that I learned. Some people relate to flowers and trees and plants. I relate to mushrooms. Less light, less life. And the more I understand the Polish history and how Warsaw was destroyed, and it's a phoenix city, it's fire, it's very extreme.
Yeah.
It goes from nothing to something instantly. What is beautiful about mycelium, which is the connection of mushroom, you don't see it. You don't see the development that's happening. It's not visible. The only thing you see is the fruit, which is the mushroom itself. So, you know, I'm a mushroom, but when I infect other people, they become mushroomed.
Yeah. But mushrooms are like everywhere, basically.
Everywhere. But that's because they're connected to everything. I did.
Yeah.
They're connected to everything underneath.
Yeah.
And what I learned and loved about understanding who I am as an energy, as a creature in Poland, the sadness, the misery, the darkness, the depression, all the negative aspects of what people see on the surface is literally the surface. It's only the surface. Racism, all the things that people put in the media and all the views that they have about living here is only surface. It's the same as when you look at my skin color. What you think you know about me, what you assume about me, is only the surface. People prefer to live on the surface. That's why they change their faces so much. That's why they change their clothes so much. That's why they're so much into how they look instead of developing and dealing and digging within themselves and also with the people around them. So for me, mushroom. I connect on the situations that you don't see in places and things that are underground. Yeah. And being from Texas, this is how we have a connection to the world. It's very blues. It's very connected to the devil and underground and, you know, the darkness and the sadness. So I know this vibration. In a way that I even shared a quote on Instagram maybe 2 days ago. It says, an artist is supposed to go into the darkness and bring back something tangible for people to heal.
Yeah.
Charles Bradley. He passed away at the age of 68. He was a blues soul artist. So you see what I mean? There's a depth that people don't want to live or even pay attention to. When you watch the news, you're like, oh, I'm so angry about that. Because you looked at the surface information. Dig deeper. You read something, you're like, oh, I believe it. You hear something from somebody, oh, I believe it. Dig deeper.
Yeah.
Why did they do that? That's why I enjoy psychology, spirituality, esoteric, Gnostic information. I dig. I go deeper into what is actually underneath all of the stuff that you see.
Basically, if we're talking about the depth, I wanted like also to let you maybe to share with the story, because like you have the song like that. He was down. Oh my god, it wasn't like so good, but you know which song I mean. So like, how was it on that down?
When I wrote that song?
Yes, I think that it's like it was like kind of moment.
Pandemic.
Things started to change in your life.
Of course it was. It was the moment where, if I was to describe it like a story, like most stories, you go through the beginning, the introduction, then you go through the apex, the oh snap, something's happening. How does the hero of this story or the protagonist, the person who wants to get something done, how do they deal with all of this difficultness to get to where they go? How do they face all problems and difficulties to get what they want? And then in the end, they do something. If you look at every great story or every great movie, they do something to give or to get to a certain point for others. It's never just for themselves.
Yeah.
There's no hero story that's like, oh, they succeeded the situation because they did it for them. There's no. If there is, please share it to me. And the greatest story that everyone talks about is Jesus. And even if you're not religious, the truth is, it's a beautiful story. What he does is he goes through all this experience to learn about people, to share with people, to help people, to go through all of the worst of the situations at the moment in the ending of his life, the most disgusting thing, to die for people. I'm like, nigga, no, I ain't doing that, cuz. I ain't dying for y'all. But this is what I mean. Every great story is this way. And what happened to me is I went through my darkness. I fell all the way down. Almost to the point where it was embarrassing. I was homeless again. I was homeless in New York City. I came here. I was doing okay. I was doing everything. I got out of the relationship. I didn't have a place to stay. I barely had any things to make money to make. Everything was falling apart. But that is shadow work. That's when you really start to understand yourself. When you have less distraction and less influence in your life from the outside world, you have to look into what is going on with me. Why is this my reality? It's your choice. How do I take what do I learn and have to change? So it's beautiful to have other people to be around you to support you, but I've also met people who don't take the support and grow. You can't keep giving a flower water that doesn't grow.
And another album is about fears.
Fear Tactics.
Yeah. I wouldn't like go into details about and talking about every fear, but what is your biggest fear?
Dying before I finish the shit I need to do.
When
I can be sick, I can be crippled, I can be every other thing, but if I die before I'm finished with the stuff I need to do, that's not cool. I'm scared of that.
you have a lot of stuff to do?
I got a lot of shit to do.
I mean, because Poland is quite still not racist, but like kind of nationalistic country.
Nationalistic, yeah. But it's also what you call scientifically sociology is homogeneous. So there's a majority of people who speak the same language and have the same cultures, same thoughts. If you go to Asia, what would be different? It wouldn't be different. If I go to Africa, it wouldn't be different. If I go to Russia, if I go to Norway, it doesn't. I'm an American. I'm connected with more of the world than the rest of the world.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. Have I faced any of these things? Of course.
How do you feel about it?
I don't care. I feel bad for people because it shows you that the human race is still at a mentality of minimal effort. But what I do enjoy is when I see kids walk down the street and they look at me and go, oh my God. Because that moment I realized if I was afraid to go outside because someone scared me of this, then I wouldn't give people the experience to see the rest of the world in their own world.
Let's talk a bit also about Warsaw. Do you have like favorite places?
No.
Faces?
No.
Do you like Warsaw?
Yes, I do love Warsaw.
Could you survive in any other Polish country? You can survive everywhere.
That's what I was about to say. There's also a saying I'm going to teach you as a New Yorker. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's true.
That's true. I mean, I can't imagine the life in New York. I think it's like super fast, isn't it?
It's not just fast, it's chaos. It's always something happening. It doesn't sleep. City that never sleeps. That's true. 24/7. 365. Like, it's continuous. Continuous. Yeah.
Yeah, and like my friends went to New York and she told me, and that's how I feel America also a bit, that like in New York, if you like meet someone, you don't really like concentrate on the person because you know that other day you will meet someone better.
Better?
Like a better
Really?
person, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, that's like, because like you have that feeling that you need that dopamine, you know? So like you...
Your generation's fucked up, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I realized that's something that a lot of people have problems with now. That's why they don't have good, strong relationships with even people or themselves, because they're always looking for something else.
Yeah.
No, I was open to meeting what was around me. I was sitting on a train for hours talking to a homeless dude.
Okay.
These are the kind of conversations I was having in New York. These are the kind of experiences. This guy needed a shower. I took him to my place. I let him shower. Gave him something to eat. Never saw him again. I met a beautiful girl. Took a walk with her after work. I didn't sleep with her. We had a great conversation. Never saw her again. But the people that were in New York with me, that I lived in New York, that I developed a cool relationship with, it grew. Now, it is a busy city, so you're going to meet people, more, or you're going to stop meeting this person after a while and find someone new. Yeah, that's true. But to say better, I can't say better, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that was someone's opinion, so like that's why I'm sharing to...
But a lot of people think like this, though.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for something. I wasn't looking for anything. I was open to what was happening.
The world.
It's the world.
So it's not like that.
It's however you
It
see
depends, like, how you want, like, what's
it. However
perception you
see
have.
it, the perception you see it, yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Cool. Then...
Warsaw is dope, though. Because when you mention Warsaw, I am a part of a city that is developing and growing. Okay? That's a really cool experience. To be the first to do things here, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So my responsibility is also to share that. Now that's why I'm teaching younger artists how to be, professional, how to develop themselves on stage, this and that. If I've done it already, I want to share it. I want to exchange the information, not just keep it and hold it to myself.
Yeah, basically, that was the second question, like about the showtime.
Yeah.
So tell us more about this project.
We will see. Let's say that.
Why did you decide to make it?
First of all, I was bored. That's always the beginning of any question you ask me why I do something. I'm bored. I have to do things. I can't do nothing. So annoying to do nothing. I don't know how people can just do nothing or say they're going to do something and don't do it. Boring.
But you could have rest.
Yeah, I did.
And it's all right to do nothing sometimes.
I know, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Exactly. Showtime was an inspiration, knowing that there is no possibility for amateur or young artists, or even international specifically, no matter what language you speak, to present their music and share their music on a stage, like a show. Not in front of their friends, not at a coffee shop, no, on a stage, and to be around others who are growing and developing, to create a community and network with each other. That was my inspiration to do that. Just like poetry and wine, no one else is doing it. Why not? I love poetry. And we had like 7-8 languages on the stage.
Wine.
And wine. It has to be wine. Like, you can't forget the wine.
And basically, like, wine and poetry, it's something more than just like poetry and wine.
It's culture.
It's culture, and it's like, I feel that's like you have the mission on it, because like people are coming and they always know that it's gonna be great, and it's like you will have. I mean,
I know what you mean. I'm only doing this because whatever mission you talk about, Masha, I'm just living. My purpose is my purpose. If it sounds like a mission, let's make it a mission. Let's make it a mission to share it. I'm cool.
But do you think like it's like for international artists in Warsaw, it's like kind of tough to develop?
No, it's not.
Not?
Nah. I've already done all the hard work.
Instead of them.
Exactly. Now it takes us together to create a community. Very simple. When you see advertisements for clubs, concerts, food, events, do you see it in Polish?
No, I think mostly in English, basically. I mean, some of them. Depends on the club.
Okay. What you experience from what you see, does it match?
Not always.
Not always. I would say almost never.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is, staying in the underground, we are developing this together. I'm not taking away from the Polish culture. I'm giving to the Polish culture just as much as the Polish culture is giving to us. We live in the country. We don't want to change the country. We want to be a part of the country. But we don't want to change we don't want to change ourselves fully. We adapt. We fit. We share. Synergy. We synchronize. It comes together like a harmony. You get what I mean? There's a harmony with what we do. When I hear someone doing Polish poetry or Russian poetry or Spanish poetry, that doesn't take away from my English poetry. Because what connects us? Culture.
Culture.
The experience of being here together.
How do you consider yourself? Who are you, Blu Mantic? Musician?
Master of sacred ceremony.
Master of secret ceremony?
Yes.
Okay.
Very easy. I don't consider myself anything. I'm too many things to be nothing. And I'm nothing to be anything. I am a master of sacred ceremony.
Okay, then the noun, mystery of sacred ceremony.
Master.
Master?
Mm-hmm.
Master of secret ceremony.
It's like a maestro. Master.
Yeah.
I'm very good at it. Sacred, spiritual, connection, people, soul, vibe, energy, ceremony, any situation.
Okay, what would you choose then? The mystery of sacred ceremony, or like the art, or sex?
Or sex?
Or sex.
It's the same thing, baby.
I knew every answer from you. you know?
I'm glad you know it. It's the same thing.
That was like...
What's the difference? When we're together and there's a situation, that's a ceremony. When I'm connecting with you, that's sacred. When I'm in control, I'm a master. You got it?
I got it.
Good. There we go.
Thank you. I love it. It's such a nice conversation. Okay, guys, you can soon we will have the podcast in Faces&Places account, so follow us as well.
Sweet is difficult because sweet is usually a combination of a few other things.
Yeah.
If you take away sugar, then what's the most natural sweetness? But my favorite flavor is pussy. Pussy, 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 pussy.